with the bracket. So I figured I would just go over everything pretty much that had to do with the season. I'm going to change that to Magic because that was my team. But for anybody looking for a new way to play 2K, man, I've found a really dope, really fun, cool way to play it, and that's for sure. So we're going to go over that real quick. This is the playoff tree. We ain't get too, we about four, half of the bracket's about 4 games in. We do it by halves. Other half is 3 games in, but these are the matchups based on the rosters, which we're going to get into real quick. So we got the Thunder up 3-0 on the Kings. New Orleans 2-1 over Dallas. LA, we just watched that game, 3-1 over Minnesota. Utah 2-1 over San Antonio. That was a shocker. A little bit for me. 3-0 in my series against Milwaukee. 2-2 Boston Indy. 3-1 Philly Toronto. We watched that one earlier. And then 2-1 Atlanta Miami. It's been a heck of a season, man. Let's check out the All-Star teams real quick. We went over that based on our rosters. Tim Duncan and Jason Kidd were our leading vote getters for each conference. Kidd being with the Nets, Duncan being with the Spurs, and we'll get into that in a second. Season awards. You can see some of the people who are on certain teams right here. Player of the weeks. So that's how you could get a good picture of what's going on. Let me see if they have the actual, okay. We'll get in this. I would think they would have MVP and stuff right here, but I guess not. Okay, so we went over that. Let's see if we can find this MVP stuff and everything. Maybe not, but in short, pretty much, T-Mac won the MVP. Paolo won Rookie of the Year. My coach won Coach of the Year. These were the standings at the end. I played 58 games with the roster. I wanted to at least get matched up with every team twice. I feel like that's like the perfect balance, perfect number of games. These were the standings. A lot of Chicago, they did terrible. Charlotte did terrible. Detroit did terrible. That surprises me that the Nets did terrible. The Knicks did terrible. Washington was in the play-in. They got knocked off. And Cleveland was in the play-in. They got knocked off as well. We're going to go to the West. We saw the teams in it. Denver didn't make it. They did terrible. Blazers terrible. Warriors terrible. Houston bad. Clippers okay. Memphis and Sacramento. Sacramento actually made it into the playoffs through the play-in. Memphis was knocked off, and Utah made it in as well. And Phoenix got knocked off in the play-in. So that was the standings and everything. Now we're gonna get into our official rosters. So let's make sure we start at the beginning with the Sixers. So what I did pretty much was go down every roster as it was with the original 2K roster updated, and I stacked all the teams based on like the 2000s All-Stars, things like that, and you'll see what I mean in a second. So the Sixers kept Embiid, obviously, threw AI on there, Ben Simmons in his prime, Iguodala in his prime, and then the rest of the team is pretty much the same. And I just think this is just a great way to add that nostalgic flavor from the 2000s if you grew up in my era, and not overdo it. Like, it's just you're adding maybe at max maybe like 5 guys to a team if they need the talent, and they're and you have like all-stars, all-time greats that have played for those teams at some point. That's how I do it, and I balance the rosters out. So you could have put Iguodala on the Warriors or wherever you want to balance it out at. So that's that core. We just played them. We gonna record that game for because we probably gonna sweep them. But Giannis he's getting busy. Him and Ray Allen. So I put Prime Real in there, Prime Middleton, Michael Redd to add a little depth, Prime Holiday. So yeah, that's just a good idea of what I'm doing right now. It's pretty dope. Bulls Prime D Rose, kept Levine, threw Noah on there, Boozer, Kirk, just to add a little depth. So everybody got a pretty decent squad, man. It's really fun to play like that. Prime LeBron in Cleveland, add Kyrie, kept Darius, kept Evan, Z, kept Jared, add JR. You know, like just to add, just enough, man. That every team is kind of stacked. Boston, Paul Pierce, of course, Rondo, add him to Tatum and Brown, Prime Horford. Kept the rest of the core as it is. I know Marcus Smart went to Memphis, but I wanted to keep him there because, you know, that's where he's kind of made his identity, so it only felt right he played there. Same here, Clippers. Chris Paul was a better fit here than anywhere else for me. Blake Prime, DeAndre in his prime, Turkoglu in his prime, JJ in his prime, Crossover in his prime. See, every team got that nice, nostalgic, all-time like flavor, man. It makes it a lot of fun. Grizzlies, Ja, Zebo, Conley, Jaren Jackson, Desmond Bain, Tony Allen, of course. Gotta throw Rudy on there. Steve. That's a nice team. Every team is that's the thing. When you do it like this, it makes every team and every matchup far more interesting than playing with a regular roster. Every time, every game. Trae Young kept him. Joey, Josh, in their primes, threw them on there. Murray stays, Clint stays, John stays. John went to the Jazz, but I kept him there. You know, add some depth, man. Add some creativity to the game. Wade, of course, Wade County. That's what I'm saying. Like, can you imagine these teams? Wade with Butler, Adebayo, Tyler. Had to throw Dragic in there for some depth. Whiteside with some size. And then, you know, I gave Prime UD skills to his current avatar, pretty much. Kemba, Prime Kemba, Melo, Prime Gordon. He would have really went on the Jazz, but they had enough depth, and I felt like he would be a good fit here. Gerald Wallace. You know, they don't have too many all-time greats, so it's hard to add a lot of depth there. But I mean, think about this team compared to the regular team. Like, you know, even just those two players, that's adding a lot of character to the team. Jazz had to throw Donovan back. AK, Rudy Gobert, of course. Stifle Tower, Deron Williams. They playing. Who are they playing? I forget who they playing in this series. We're gonna at least record one game of every series so we get a look at every matchup and just how dope it is, man. Marketing, Colin, Jordan, whole squad there. Kings, De'Aaron, Sabonis, keep them there. Throw Stojakovic, Bibby, all in their prime. Divac, Kevin Martin. Look at that, man. That's a way better roster. Melo, of course. Prime Melo, Prime Omari, Jalen, Julius, Steph, RJ. Look at that Knicks squad. Of course, we just watched this game. Roster is crazy. That's my roster right here. All I did for my team was throw T-Mac and Dwight in their primes onto the regular team. I didn't add anything else at all. I didn't think I needed much. Luka. Now, look at this team. This is one of my favorite teams. Luka, Nowitzki, Finley, Porzingis, Jason Terry. Come on, man. That's nuts right there. That's all time. J. Kidd, RJ, Kenyon, with Mikal Bridges at the shooting guard. It's perfect. Keith Van Horn, maybe coming off the bench, maybe starting. Then Woody's still there. That's a way better team. Jokic. I threw Paul Millsap on there. Can be on there. So they still got, and I threw Jameer Nelson on there just to add a little depth to their team. It was harder for Denver. They don't have as many all-time greats, but look at this is another one of my favorite teams. Paul George, Jermaine O'Neal, Tyrese, Oladipo in his prime, Paul George in his prime too, by the way. Ron Artest, Roy Hibbert. This team is stupid. And they play in Boston right now, and they just tied the series up. So we're gonna have to check one of them out. Pelicans are in the playoffs. I think they're playing Dallas right now. AD, Zion, Baron Davis, David West, Brandon Ingram, David Wesley, Valanciunas, Eric Gordon in his prime. That's what I'm saying, man. Look at that team. Another classic 04 Pistons team. That's all I added to this team. So Chauncey, Rip, Ben Wallace, kept Cade, threw Andre Drummond on there. Okay, so I forgot I added him in his prime. I threw Grant Hill in since Tyshawn Prince was in there. I threw in Grant Hill. I threw in Orlando Magic Grant Hill. So this ain't the best Grant Hill there is, but I thought he would be a nice fit there. Plus the 04 Grant Hill, that kind of counts in my whole 2K thing. Vince. Just watch this game. Vince, Stevie, Kyle Lowry, DeRozan, Siakam, Scotty, Van Vliet. Come on, man. Harden, Yao, Steve, Jalen Green, Shane Battier, all on the same team, bro. Single. Come on, man. Dunk, Leonard, Tony, Ginobili, Bruce. I just threw them 5 on the regular Spurs team. Nash, Booker, Sean Marion in their prime. DeAndre Ayton, Tyson Chandler in his prime. Like TJ Warren, Cam, KD in his prime with Russ again. They just blew who they blow out. They're in their series. We gonna never watch the last game in their series because they're gonna smack them. SGA, Rashard Lewis, Josh Giddey. Like that's what I mean, man. When you see the balance on the roster, it's the perfect way to play. KG, just watch this game. K-Love, Cat, Sam. They all there. Wally, Portland, Dame, Aldridge in his prime, CJ McCollum in his prime, Anthony Simons. I tried to throw it. It's harder to get some depth for them too, so I threw Andre Miller in his prime on there, Batum in his prime, Grant still there, threw in Greg Oden, everything. I tried everything I could, man. The Blazers just still couldn't get it done. Steph in his prime, Clay in his prime, DeMarcus Cousins. I did that because they needed a little more depth, and the Kings have a lot of it. So I was like, let me spread that out. And that's what I mean. You could shift that however you want. Draymond in his prime, Jason Richardson, Jordan Poole still there, Wiggins. That team's still wild stack. Last team, the Wizards. Of course, Gilbert, John Wall, both in their prime, Beal in his prime, Butler in his prime, Jameson in his prime. To the regular roster. And then Brennan Haywood down here even. And that's what I mean, man. That's all it takes, bro. Just a little creativity. Mix up the rosters a little bit. We saw the All-Star game. We saw the result of the All-Star game, which was amazing. That was the best All-Star game I've ever played in 2K. I'm so glad I got that on camera. But that, and then this is the result of the entire season, first round. So far we got footage of the Philly series and the LA series. So before every series ends, I'm gonna make sure I get at least 1/4 quarter of every series. So that's what we gonna do, man. We're gonna keep rocking on and just having fun. That's it. Catch y'all next time.